Well, the field that we're in, I have a, just a question to bring up. Like, how do you balance that, like what you're doing with your personal relationships? How do you balance your business demands? Like, because I know it gets hard at times. It gets tough when you have to, be a wife, be a mother, be a boss, and be a mentor half the time. I feel like it's kind of tough. So, how do you guys balance that?
Well, my opinion is that starting at the basics, I believe that any two people can make a relationship work as long as both parties are willing to compromise, communicate effectively, and work hard at it, because we're all different. We're not going to agree on the same things because we're all different. So it is very challenging, especially when it comes to family, peers, and other associates, because like we were saying, we were so conformed into this is what we have to do. You got to grow up, got to go to school, got to get there. And once you have that one person that steps out of that mindset, number one, you may have your supporters, but you cannot please everybody. And it's really just a lack of understanding. Yeah. So it gets a little challenging to really kind of hold on to certain personal relationships, especially when you're talking about business, because what is it saying? They say that in every follower there's a trapped leader. So now we're branching out into something different, and they're not able to understand what this pattern of thinking and mind renewal that we have going on. So you will have the faithful ones that that will understand this is what I have to do, this is what I'm dedicating my life to. It may be a certain amount of time, it won't be long, but then you also have, it's even in marriage, for instance, because I'm married. And my husband he's the head of my household, but he's also my business partner as well. So there is, you have to, like I said, communicate effectively when you're working in the household with the person that you're working in business with. You have to, with everything, as far as like women, whether we have kids or not, we have to organize our time. We do more than enough with ourselves and taking care of and looking out for people. So when it comes to being a wife, we have to sit down and discuss time management, which is something I heard you say earlier. When are we going to set these hours to just solely work on our business, but also understanding that, you have to, they say business and emotions don't really mix. I would have to set my hours as far as working with my team and my business, but also from where I am, I have to kind of branch out and let him kind of take over the rest of the hours so I can cater to my children and housework and everything else, my ministry and everything else I have to do. So it really just depends on the person. If they're really in there to hang tough with you and communicate and everybody works together, it can go, but a lot of times it's not necessarily the best idea to do when it comes to other people.
And that's a good point you brought up, because of course you're married, I'm married as well, and a big part of being business partners as well as married or spouses is that you basically have to have trust, and that's a big
confidence.
Mm-hmm. So of course you're in this industry, in the network marketing period, we have to deal with other people, the opposite gender, and so you have to. Well, your spouse has to be open to letting you also speak and, I don't want to say the term get new business partners, but basically you have to be able to actually talk to other people, and some of those people are men. Mm-hmm. And he has to be comfortable with you talking to these people.
Yeah, and trust. World of people. Yeah.
So he has to trust you, and so that's one main part that I think that's very important when we're dealing with someone in a relationship, married or not. That other person has to be open to and educated on what it is that you're doing.
Right. The vision has to be on one accord.
On one accord.
Because two visions divided, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
so as long as we're seeing the same thing,
yes.
It doesn't matter what goes on. Okay, I understand you have to do this. I understand you have to go to a meeting at 10 o'clock at night. I got,
Right.
Vision has to be intact.
Exactly. If you guys are going for that same goal, it will work. And that's one vision. Yeah, that's one reason why. Just one. That's one reason why I did, I like that phrase, because if, you're not on one accord with anything and everything, when you're in a relationship, when you're married especially, then
Even in business.
in business, period, with business partners, but definitely with your spouse, you have to start there. If you're on one accord there, then everything will flow properly and, and accordingly. So any person that you are networking with and your business partners that you actually have, they will be on that one accord as well, and everything will fall smoothly in place. But communication is key, like you mentioned.
What about you, Latoya?
Well, I'm not the married Latoya.
Right.
But I think you all both mentioned some key points. The vision and the connectedness. Even when I'm training up, other network marketers, when they're approaching different people or if they're married, I tell them, make sure your spouse, your husband or your wife, is familiar with the type of business you're doing. Because
Yeah.
you want them to have your support, You want them to be by your side, and when you fall, they have your back. And the only way they can do that is if they feel comfortable enough with what you're doing and who you're doing business with.
Yeah.
So, we are really like a family, the business partners that I have, and I keep the communication open, whether their spouse is an official business partner or not. I'm like, attend the trainings, attend the events. Come out and meet who we are so that you feel comfortable in supporting your spouse. But also the vision. Now, not being married, I don't have to necessarily worry about somebody sharing my vision, but the potentials who might come in my path, that would end up being key, because you have to be able to see what I'm doing and why I'm so passionate about it. Whether or not you choose to do it with me is up to you, but I feel as long as you see that vision, and it's, and you support me with it, then I could see where, the communication is open, because you have your life, I'm going to have my life, but as long as we build something together and we know it's going in the same path, then it's definitely doable. But you also have to make time, because there are times in any business where the time demands for the business become greater than what you have for your personal.
That's true.
And you have to, make them aware of that up front. Don't
Yes.
blindside them with it,
Yeah.
like, the day before you leave for a conference.
Communication.
I'm gone for a week.
Right.
What?
Well, yeah.
But
Communicate.
it also forces you to set time for them, make those special date nights, make those special weekend getaways or
Yes.
whatever, so that they always feel that family comes first. Because it's always God first and then family and, everything else.
Oh my God.
I know there's a lot of people with, in the business that we do, that sometimes their spouse do not support them, and sometimes the spouse can get jealous, and I feel like you'll make a stronger bond if you guys work together, on it, or at least support
Absolutely.
what the opposite person is doing.
Yes.
I think that's very important. I mean, I couldn't imagine not supporting if it's something that's beneficial to the household,
Yes.
but it's unfortunate that it's still, happening, but. One thing we didn't talk about were our long-term goals. I know a lot of you guys touched on it. Did you ever talk about it? No, I did not talk about my long-term goals. My main goal, I don't know, I just want to help the world. That's what we needed.
Yes, universe.
The world needs love. My passion is really to help the youth, and I'll have a short story about this. But I felt like when I was in middle school, for the most part, like jumping out of elementary school to middle school, I was just overwhelmed with a lot of different things. There are a lot of influences that were put directly in my face, like, okay, we're the cool kids. In order to be with us, you got to do this, that, and the third. I declined both things, but at the same time, the pressure is overwhelming. And then going into high school period, you're around those same people. But the main thing is, there were a lot of times when I felt like there needed to be more counselors stepping in. But my passion are to basically help the youth and get them on a path to their goals very soon, before they started, experiencing different things and being approached with things as well. So I think a lot of schools need to have different sit downs, or just have different groups that encourage them to be entrepreneurs, and especially encourage them to, go about their dreams, and, just in case college is not in the picture, not saying not to go to college, but to work on them early, So, you know, because you may be able to retire when you're 23, you don't know. And a lot of kids don't even think about that because they don't teach that. And I think that's important too. So I think if you guys want to talk about your long-term goals, you can.
Okay.
So,
Latoya, you have one?
Yeah. Thank you.
I just heard you talking about it.
That's my
Yeah.
Actually, again, my passion's always been helping people, and although I'm in science and I do public health, what I wanted to do was more of a public health center. A lot of people think public health is just biology, but it's mental health, emotional, social work. Like every field there is actually contributes to public health, which is why it's growing so fast. But in minority communities, a lot of people face health disparities because they can't afford certain services, or even if there are health clinics around, they're so dilapidated that they're not going to go. So my long-term goal is to create a center in various communities that looks almost like a resort, where they get the red carpet treatment, and they get access to holistic healing with health services, whether it be mental or physical and stuff like that. And they can learn about entrepreneurship, because one of the biggest challenges with health disparities is not being able to afford what is healthy for you. So Toya, what are your long-term goals?
Well, as I said before, my passion has always been about people. So my long-term goals is, the story is still really being written, because I believe with every problem is an opportunity to, to increase and to make the world better. So I know that one of my long-term goals was definitely to start nonprofit organizations. Number one, catering to the young women, because I really believe that somewhere in our generation of women we went wrong, and now the image of what a woman is and the image we absolutely. So I believe in bringing back that old school way of how we used to raise our daughters, as far as how etiquette and just growing up to empower them to be the woman that we need, the women that we need in the world. So there's that, and then also I guess I was more so inspired to do this with a couple friends of mine. They're single fathers, and one thing that I noticed in our research is that there's not a lot of programs that cater to the single fathers. The media and the world just kind of portray men in such a horrible fashion, and it's not necessarily true. And I just want to create a program that caters to the young men who really strive to take care of their children, who are always looked at in a negative light, whereas they can have the resources that they need, the education they need, the counseling that they need to be able to, to accomplish their dreams as well. They're normally shut down about a lot of things, and one particular friend of mine, he's not even able to go to work because he has his children, so it's kind of tough for him. So I want to be able to cater to the young single men who really need to accomplish their goals and just can't, so.
That's awesome.
Well, she's starting. It's kind of leading into what my passion is. For some reason, God was just tugging on my heart, and it's weird because we never do know what our purpose is, and I guess we're all pursuing what it is that God wants for us to do, whatever His purpose is for us. And not too long ago, it was just something that was, I thought that I was supposed to be doing something, one thing. I wanted to focus in technology at one time, but God kind of just told me, no, you need to take a look at this, and He showed me the amount of abuse that was going on, abuse and neglect of our children. And I wanted to, he's basically been talking to me about what it is I need to do. It was so strong to a point where I wanted to just quit my job and just focus straight on that. And I didn't know where to go, what to do, because I know that is in the field of social work. And I know a lot of people who are in social work and counseling services for youth who use for defects, whatever. But with a lot of things that are in the media right now, with defects kind of dropping the ball in so many children's cases, it just touched my heart so bad, and I wish that there was some kind of way I could actually intervene with a nonprofit to actually help those families, or even just become a voice of those children who are in those situations where defect is kind of overlooking them. So he's still working on me, and that's one thing that I really want to focus my time on. And another thing would be probably to to try to have some type of safe house. I know a lot of those exist now, not necessarily a shelter, but a daycare that is affordable for everyone, anyone, not necessarily daycare vouchers that exist now, but basically free daycare for everyone who qualifies. And basically your qualification is to have a parenting class, anger management type of counseling that will allow you to become a better parent. And I want to focus this on a lot of our young parents out there, because there are so many of them starting from ages 13 or probably younger and up who have no idea how to be a mother. So I really want to make that available to kind of cut down on the amount of neglect that is going on so rapidly in our country, in our community. So we'll see. But I'm thankful, and God has led me to the network marketing industry so that I can have that time freedom, to do those types of things.
But that what's interesting about network marketing as an industry, it not only gives you the time to do those things, it gives you the residual income so that you can start building up your nest egg and not having to rely on government support or grants to actually start a business, because a lot of times you need a large capital to even qualify for grants. They don't cover startup costs, so they don't cover, you can't qualify unless you're in the building. But besides the money and the time, it actually connects you to the people that you need, because all of us have essentially talked about something similar with youth programs and single men's program, which also falls under public health, which has social work and counseling and things like that.
Exactly.
So even if you weren't
up and do a
whole
That's
big
That's the whole purpose of building relationships.
Exactly.
That is one of our purposes for being here, because we're in a huge world of people, and it's so it boggles the mind how people are clicking up and people are hating each other and going against, not realizing how powerful we really are and what we have on the inside of us. Even with these visions, everybody having the same thing. That's how all these inventions came about. Like you said, I remember seeing something that you said, write the vision. As time goes by and you keep getting the provision to make these things happen, there's going to be more visions and more goals and more things that you have, abilities that you have on the inside of you that's going to enable you to make these things happen, and it's going to keep increasing us. That's why I say every gift that we have is supposed to bring us profit.
Someone right around the corner with that same idea.
Absolutely. And see, with network marketing, like when it comes to me conversing with other people about my network marketing business as well, I never really tell them to automatically. Some people are able to just completely quit their jobs, but tell me this is what I did. I actually waited until I was able to totally dismiss that, because that's where the importance of investing comes in. You can use your existing income it depends on how bad you really want it, and how it's still a mind thing. It's still a mind thing as far as breaking out of the conformity of what we were raised to believe. And people, I wish more people could understand that if everybody can get on one accord and just pray for wisdom and get out of this mindset that everybody is on the same team.
Right, because even people who already have businesses sometimes, frown down on people doing network marketing.
That's
it's
true.
like, do you realize how big your network could
It's
get?
like the biggest
Right.
Right.
Supporters.
They're probably the same thing too.
Exactly.
How many people? I need to do that research. How many people are in network marketing?
I'm not sure how many, but I know it's a $176 billion industry.
It's like the biggest thing.
So
it has to be billions of people. Your network can be
volumes in
more
itself.
than what your small business network is right now.
Exactly.
But it also goes back to the point of people just being so intimidated by the phrase network marketing. We do it all the time.
Right.
Like,
All
where'd
the
you get
time.
your blazer? Oh, I got it from such and such.
You
Oh,
ain't getting paid.
we just got them business.
down.
We just got them
Right.
business. Now I'm gonna go buy the blazer. It's just a constant. It's just networking. Just just branching out and just building relationships with people.
And speaking of relationships, like I didn't know any of you before network marketing, and it's crazy how we all have the same thing in
Isn't that
common.
cool?
Right.
Right.
And we could actually end up doing a center together, and we'd have less to invest personally, because now we have like-minded individuals.
And we have a
who
team
are-
of
we have
people.
a team of people already ready to go.
Who will be basically time free
Yeah.
and financially free.
Exactly.
It makes me look at everybody different now.
Yeah.
Like I can be sitting at a sports event or a church or something. I'm just looking around like, I wonder what this is. Everybody has something on the inside of them that somebody else needs. You may have something that I need, I may have something that you need, and if we can really just blend that together, like we can just kind of just organize our passions and what we really supposed to be doing, we can just like completely change the world.
Change
I
the
really
world.
believe that.
I mean, again, that's a fundamental universal truth, whether it's business or religion,
That's
that,
true.
you know,
Mhm.
they talk about that in religion. You need one part, you're all part of a larger body.
Of course.
One part can't survive without the other part.
Right.
But we were so quick to cut off our noses to spite our face. No,
Yeah.
get it together.
Yeah.
We're here to connect and build each other up.
Right, build each other up,
Yes.
not hold anyone down
No.
or negatively affect anyone, but to positively uplift, and that's what we're all trying to do as women,
Mm-hmm.
especially young black women. And I want to point that out because we have some goals, and I'm just so excited to see how they flourish.
Of course. All right. Well, I had a great discussion with you guys. This is something we have to continue to do. You know, I want to showcase everybody who has, you know, an opportunity that they want to showcase. So, I think that was something else too.
Yeah, and I like to shout out the people behind the scenes who, you know, make things happen. We don't always see them in front, but we have a lot of behind the scenes people who work diligently, and they'll be in front.
Shout out to Shayla.
Yes,
For
yes.
making this all possible today.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you.
So,
Network is tight.
yeah. All right.
Well, thank you, Tedra, for having me.
Yes,
Thank you guys
it's
for
an
coming to
honor
me.
and a privilege to be here.
No problem. Well, thank you guys for watching. Of course, we're going to continue this, and if you like anything that you've heard, you can also write us and email us, and we'll have that link below too as well. If it's a certain topic that you want to hear about, let us know. So thank you. You guys be exceptional.
Class dismissed.